As far as history goes, many people have struggled with mental health, hardship, or a combination of both. Many people feel there is no other solution aside from taking their own life. When it comes to the Japanese people, mental health and hardship is understood by most. With some of the strictest working conditions in the world, many people try to find some sort of escape. Whether it be the feeling of uselessness due to not getting a promotion they worked hard for, or feeling like they failed their families inside and or outside of work, many people look for ways to disappear from society or risk bringing shame to everyone around them in their minds. I'm sure you've all heard of Aokigahara, or more commonly known as the forest. But there is also an area known as Sanya, a place for people to perform societal, which is in the Taido and Arakawa wards of Tokyo. This is commonly known as the place where people disappear. As mentioned before, many people drop everything and choose to take shelter in Sanya to avoid any possible embarrassment they felt in society. As one of the poorest places in Japan, many people in Sanya are homeless, live in cheap apartments, and live their days doing cheap work, if at all, and try to enjoy the life of a disappearing man. People in Japan will go as far as faking their own death or disappearance so they can head to Sanya with little to no trace. Located in the heart of the Namidabashi intersection, known as the Bridge of Tears, this area is in the boundary of former Edo. Within this area is where there was an execution site and a temple where the bodies of prostitutes were once thrown in. There was a famous red light district known as Yoshiwara, which has since been renamed in 1966 as part of the Japanese renaming program. In 1657, known as the Great Fire of Meireki, Yoshiwara was burned down. Due to the need for space as the city grew, the district was relocated north of Asakusa, just on the outskirts of the city. What made Yoshiwara unique was their lack of any policies or laws. A commoner with enough money could enjoy the district and is held at the same standard as the samurai. Samurai were also discouraged from entering, although many did at this time. Despite Yoshiwara being a high commercial area, the prostitutes often came from poor families, would commonly be exploited, and were so poor that, when they died, their bodies would be anonymously brought to Jokanji Temple and left at the back entrance, as burials were too expensive to afford. The temple became wrongfully known as Nagekomidera, meaning throwaway temple. The actual reason for the name is due to the mass burial of about 500 prostitutes after Great Ansei earthquake in 1855, which was done in haste to prevent disease. Today, Yoshiwara still stands as a district for discreet services while also maintaining its commercial likeness. The area had over 9,000 women in 1893, many of whom suffered from syphilis. In 1913, the area was damaged by an extensive fire, and further damaged to the point of near obliteration a decade later by the 1923 Great Kanto earthquake. However, Yoshiwara remained in business as a traditional red light district until prostitution was outlawed by the Japanese government in 1958, following World War II. Though technically illegal, with the definition of prostitution under the Prostitution Prevention Law being compensated penetrative sex with an unspecified person, other forms of sex work that do not violate this law continue to exist in the modern era of Yoshiwara as well as the rest of Japan. With the portion of the town near Minowa Station on the Hibiya line, now known as Senzoku Yonchome, retaining a large number of soaplands and other facades for sexual services. I can't believe I just went on a whole tangent about about the red light district in Japan. But yeah, I mean, if you guys want a video about that, I can definitely do one. They're super interesting. Super interesting. Yeah. They're interesting. I don't know. But, I mean, if you're going to Japan, you're welcome. Maybe I'll do a whole video on kind of the history of the red light districts in Japan. Maybe. If you guys want to see that, let me know. Definitely don't go. You shouldn't go. You should. You should do that. Anyway, yeah, don't go. Like, that's terrible. Why would you go? That's crazy. It's illegal, obviously. You shouldn't do that. I didn't go there. Just kidding. Don't go. That's terrible. Why would you do that? The working conditions in Sanya are not very good, to say the least. Many workers fall prey to the Yakuza syndicate. Anti-war and anti-emperor billboards are scattered throughout the area. There's also Catholic and Protestant churches that, in tandem, provide emergency food and other humanitarian services. With places like Aokigahara, Sanya, and others, it's clear that Japan struggles with a mental health crisis. Japan's prevalence with depression increased from 7.9% in 2013 to a staggering 17.3% in 2020. Suicide also increased by a large margin in 2020. Suicides within the elementary, junior high, and high school students reached 499 in 2020 and remained a high number even still. Mental health services in Japan are far and few between, as there are many hurdles to jump through in order to get the proper care that's needed. Alongside this, mental health is a very stigmatized concept among the Japanese people. Oftentimes, rather than speaking about it, they're taught that, through perseverance, they will overcome. Often shutting out these chemical imbalances, people fear that they'll be seen differently if they speak up about their conditions, hence causing the suicide rate to increase. Now, I know every country struggles with this topic, and it's never an easy thing to discuss, but videos like this and conversations regarding these topics are very important to have. And having an understanding on how deadly these disorders can be. There are many people who struggle with depression, anxiety, and others all over the world, and I believe that there needs to be a much better system in place to help people recover or lessen the effects at the very least. Japan struggles with this mainly due to their intensive work schedules, oftentimes working excessive hours, taking less holiday and sick days, and resulting in self-harm before taking their own lives or disappearing to Sanya or other places alike. It's so common, in fact, that they have words for specific situations. Karoshi, death by overworked, or occupation sudden mortality. And karojisatsu, overwork suicide, which is suicide by occupational stress. The suicide rate in 2022 was 17.5 per 100,000 inhabitants. Thank you all again for watching. I might do a separate video for this, but I plan on live streaming on Twitch again in the near future, so if you want to watch me play games and chat with me about stuff and get a different perspective on who I am, I'll drop the link in the description as well as the community tab. I appreciate all the love and support, and since doing this, I've started to feel a bit of added pressure and accountability with YouTube, and I kind of love it. Knowing that there's people who want to continue watching my videos is such a cool but nerve-wracking feeling. I hope I can continue bringing content to all of you, and being a small part of your day with each release. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one.